You ever been frustrated when you were woodworking or building a project or just get angry and want to quit? I think we've all been there. Welcome to Live Edge. Episode number next. I'm Matt.
I'm Amy.
Welcome to the show. That's the topic for tonight. It's frustrations in the building process or the business product or business process, building your business. Those frustrations can sometimes really aggravate you and make you want to give it up and quit. You also have times when you feel like you're not good enough to build these projects, you're not good enough to sell the projects, or your projects aren't good enough to sell. You don't have the right skill level, you don't have the right tools. Like, all of that can be very frustrating. I've been there. I'm still there. Almost every time I make a project, I get frustrated at some point in the process. And then even also making videos on YouTube, I get very frustrated and aggravated just because of that. Did you get that?
No, it popped off too fast. Okay.
So frustrations come and go, right? Like, for me, it can be really defeating when things you plan or things you have in your mind are going to go a certain way and then they don't. That's one of those things where you really get down on yourself. You get down on yourself, or just kind of start doubting your own abilities, right? And if you don't know, we send out a Power Tip Tuesday email every Tuesday.
That's a mouthful.
Almost every Tuesday, as long as we're not traveling, from our email list. And if you're not signed up for that, there's a link in the description to let you, in the YouTube video here, that you can sign up to get signed up for that. I said sign up a lot. That you can get signed up for the email list, and we just let you, we're not going to spam you. We'll send you a notice on when we make new videos come out.
Sales.
The Power Tip Tuesday email, and then sales. Mm-hmm. That's it. So we're not going to spam you. You'll get mostly 2-3 emails a week on average. So what do you think about frustrations?
So frustrations can come in so many different forms. And one thing that I saw him Sunday, he was...
Sunday.
When he has videos come out, a new video drop, and they don't meet the goal that he has set in his mind, he gets extremely frustrated. And not in a way where he's angry or he's, takes it out on somebody. He takes it out on himself, and he takes it out on himself in a very harsh manner. And I think that sometimes it's easy for me to look at him and say, it's okay. As long as you reach the one person God wanted you to reach in this video, you're good. But that's easier said than done, right?
Yep, very much.
Because if you're on the other side of it right now, my YouTube channel is sucking because, it's just.
It ain't easy. It's hard.
It's just not, it's not doing well. Facebook's doing a lot better than YouTube. And he says the same stuff that I try to say to him to encourage him. And
it's
as
easier
the person on the
outside looking in.
Yeah, it's so much easier. But frustration is part of everyday life. There's no way to avoid it. We're going to get frustrated about something. You get frustrated in your vehicle when somebody in front of you is in your way.
Cut you off or get your parking spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you're frustrated?
I don't know. So for me, just take the video Sunday, for example. It was a 3M video. I thought it was going to do a little better than it did, and it wound up picking up later. But out of the gate, you kind of tell how a video is going to do, and it was like I had expectations of it doing better, and it just didn't. And so it's more of a bummed feeling. You're like bummed out that I was like, oh man.
But the video before that, the one he had come out before that, and Jonas Grumby said you can't be frustrated. You have a place to put your glue.
That's true.
It's true. The video that he had come out Thursday before that did better than he thought it was going to do.
Sure did.
So it performed. It exceeded
well
his goal, exceeded his expectations, and even though that felt like such a win, it didn't make up for Sundays. And so it's so hard to see that, to look for the positive in something. And that was part of the email, that one of the things you needed to do is slow down, take a breath, look for the positive. There's a positive somewhere.
Do you have that email?
I do.
Pull it up. I'll let her read that email. But yeah, so for me, like, I have to kind of take a step back and put things in perspective in my mind, right? So if I'm building a project, I know I'm going to screw up somewhere along the way because I mismeasure or I put something in the wrong spot. It's going to happen every time. It happened on my last router table build. It happened on the outdoor chair. It happened on the outdoor bench. Like anytime I build anything, I get in a hurry or I don't think just right and I mess up. And I get a little frustrated by that kind of stuff. And so I just kind of take a step back. I'm like, okay, we got to fix it. It's wood. We can fix this. And then just kind of reevaluate where you're at. Same thing with the videos. If they're not doing as well, I'll tweak titles and thumbnails. But at a certain point, you got to go, well, that was done. On to the next one. And it's kind of the way you do look at projects too. Like if it's messed up to the point of failure and you can't fix it, it's on to the next one. You can't just basically dwell on it.
Right.
What does our email say today?
Okay, so I gave the definition of frustration, which is just defined as the feeling of being upset or annoyed due to the inability to do something or achieve a certain goal. And then, according to Forbes, frustration is simply an emotion derived from being blocked from achieving an intended goal. The goal that he had set for Sunday, and it was just a mental goal. It wasn't anything he wrote down. We all have those. We have mental goals. My mental goal is to get this done today. He didn't meet the goal that he had preset in his mind, and so because of that, he felt blocked. He felt like his goal was blocked, and there's where the frustration comes in. But something that you say to people all the time is, this is a marathon, not a sprint, right?
That's right. And I have to really think about that sometimes too, because I'll get that in mind.
That was part of the email. It says, next time you find yourself in a situation where you're frustrated, take a moment to breathe, try to stop and consider your actual goal, because sometimes the goal we have preset in our mind is not the actual goal. Look for the bright side. I promise you there's one if you just look.
That's right.
And then make a change. All we can do is kind of modify and adjust. As a teacher, that was one of our phrases, because every day was different. Every kid was different. Every personality was different. There was never 2 moments in a day that were going to ever be identical. And so one of the things we always said was teachers have to learn to monitor and adjust. We have to adjust constantly. Your new 3D printer, you're having to adjust constantly to make it work, right?
Well, I mean, I've had a few hiccups, not that many.
But think about it. Think about it from this standpoint. The 3D printer is a new machine that you've got out there. It's brand new.
Brand new.
It's making stuff, and you think it's cool.
Just got
it has a goal. It has a goal to make whatever you've set in it. And when something slips or gets messed up, does the machine get frustrated?
No. Sucker just keeps
it's a machine. It doesn't have those emotions. Frustration is an emotion. So the machine's not going to get frustrated. You do.
Yeah.
Because we have that emotion. Sometimes, we don't need to take the emotion out of our work, but sometimes we need to pull back our emotion and look at what's really going on. Because our emotions are kind of the driving force.
We got 2 questions, right? First, Rooster says...
Oh, I like that.
He says, first, thanks for the text. The 40% discount on the Ridge Track Saw. You're welcome. I love the 3D printer shorts. Will you be creating content on the Bamboo 3D printer? First things first, on that, where'd I go? Yep. On the deal alerts he's talking about, I text out deal alerts fairly regularly. I'm not going to spam you. Only when there's really good ones. Text deals to that number on the screen, and that's where he got that deal alert. Now, as far as Bamboo goes, yes, I will be creating content on the 3D printer, but not on this channel. It'll be on my new channel that I just started. More on that will come out when I'm ready to launch it.
A9 Ball has a question for me.
I saw that.
Why isn't she wearing a wedding ring like you are?
Exactly. Why aren't you?
Well,
are you married?
A9 Ball, I'm married, and whether or not there's a ring on that finger, I'm always 110% married. But when I change in the afternoon out of my whatever I'm wearing into my comfy clothes, I always take jewelry off. However, right now I have a ton of health-related issues. I've got kidney stones and an enlarged liver, and my fingers have been swelling like back and forth. And so right now my jewelry is really uncomfortable. So...
Thank you, Jonas. Jonas says you put out more content than anyone I know. If something doesn't do as good as you would like, the next one's could catch it. That's one of the reasons I do 2 videos a week on this channel. It's just in case kind of thing. But I also enjoy making the content. So
you can make a ring on the lathe.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Sure can.
Paul Ellis, you're teaching me stuff.
A few frustrations that a lot of people have in woodworking, I know from experience, is lack of the tools that you want to have to build that project and lack of space. We all, most of us anyway, I would say high 90% of us deal with lack of space or space challenges, and that gets very frustrating at times, depending on what you're making. Some people are perfectly happy in a certain size shop. You know, I feel like I'm out of space. I feel like I have no place to put anything else, and I don't really need anything else. I have really all the basic tools I need, but there are a few tools that I would like to add to the shop. You know, drum sander, like a floor jointer, like those would be nice to have, but I don't have the space for it. And so a lot of people, and then some other people are dealing with much, much smaller spaces. Like some of you are working out of no shops. You pull your tools out and work in the gravel or a driveway or on the paved driveway or on a back porch or on a patio. Like there's a lot of challenges that go in that can frustrate you, but at the same time, you're making things that are really awesome with that restriction on you. So I think that's one of those things you should be proud of yourself for being able to push through not having a proper space or having too small of a space and making these awesome things.
Thank you, A9 Ball. Michelle Koshel says, my hubby made our daughter and son-in-law's wedding bands,
cool.
and she made the ring box.
That is so cool.
I didn't know you could make rings on the lathe.
Yeah, you need a lathe.
I know, I've been saying this.
Oh.
You got to take me to a class. However, it's not his fault. He did reach out and find out when the classes were, and then we found out I had all these kidney stones and this liver trouble, so now it's my fault that I'm not getting to go.
So Kenny Thompson says, that's like me working in my backyard. That's right. So it doesn't, like if you let frustrations block you and stop you from pursuing what you enjoy or growing your business, like that's the easiest way to kill a dream. Like the fears and doubts and all this stuff and frustrations will kill your dreams. And you just can't let this stuff worry you too much. Just when I started out, a lot of you know, it was just a borrowed circular saw and a couple of borrowed drills. I didn't have proper tools that I thought I needed at the time, but I had what I had and I made it work. And so it was frustrating at times when you have to unplug one drill, unchuck the drill bit, chuck the driver bit.
Thank you, A9 Ball.
So, I understand the frustrations, but it gets better. The longer you work, the more you work at it, you start investing back into your business or your hobby, sell the projects, invest, like things pick up. But it can be frustrating.
Oh, A9 Ball says, I'll be back. McMath Woodwork says, I've been frustrated that I haven't been able to make a YouTube video in several months. However, I've been able to make some fun projects with my kids, and that is so much better.
That's right.
That's finding the positive within a frustrated situation. I'll be honest, since I've had these kidney stones, I've been frustrated a lot. I've sat down and cried. I've walked in here. He's sitting here working. He looks up in the door frame, and I'm standing there crying. Like, I'm frustrated. I feel like I can't do anything right. And a lot of times I'm absolutely lost. The frustration gets so bad that I just feel lost, and I can't make videos. And I've told him, I said, I feel like I can't do anything right. I'm trying to do emails or trying to do paperwork or file something, and I'm making mistakes constantly, and I'm not looking for the positive in it. The positive in it is, yes, I have kidney stones. Yes, I have an enlarged liver, but it could be so much worse. There's people out there dealing with, terminal cancer, and kids dealing with cancer, and there's so many. My stuff is so small in consideration. It's hard to find the positive sometimes.
So again, you have to take the step back.
Thank you, Stephen.
Look at the bigger picture, of what you got going on. And a lot of times, if you look at your history, like if you're trying to build your business or your skill level, and you're frustrated in this moment, if you take just a little bit of time, step back and take a time and think about, okay, where was I at a year ago? Like some of you just started. A year ago, you weren't even doing any projects at all. You weren't woodworking at all. You didn't think about it. 2-3 years ago, if you've been doing this a while, you look back 3, 4, 5 years ago at the projects you were making or the tools you had at the time till now, and you're like, wow, that's a lot of progress. Like, I can't believe you look at some of your old projects. I do this. I look at some of my first projects. I'm like, I made that. Oh, it could be better now.
Yep. And one of the most positive spots in everything that's been going on with me, I've been down with this for 3 weeks now. In I don't know if any of you've ever had kidney stones, but I have over 10 of them. I have 5 on one side, more than 5 on the other. They didn't give me the exact number, but they just said more than 10 in total. They're extremely painful. But guess what? I get to stay here every single day. That's a positive part. He reminds me of that when I'm frustrated and I'm down and I look at him and I'm like, I can't do anything. All I can do is lay down and take pain meds sometimes. And he told me, he said, but you don't have to go anywhere. You get to stay home. That's the positive. That was his subtle little way of getting, he didn't even know he was giving me a positive moment in it. I mean, that's a huge blessing. I'm getting to stay home while I'm sick. And it is. It's all, Scruffy said, sometimes it's all about perspective.
Yep,
sometimes our perspective is skewed and we need to look at it differently.
We all get caught up. Uh-oh, internet's dropping.
Oh, no. Don't do it again.
It looks like it's going. It's getting there.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, the red. It's coming back up.
Okay.
This big red line there. All right, so.
Thank you. God is good.
You may have to kill your stream and look up here.
Okay.
Just to help out.
All right.
Somebody asked, Joe Ferrone says, Matt, how long have you had your bamboo printer? I've had it since last Thursday, so just under a week, and it is fantastic. Like, I kind of went back and forth on, should I buy one? Do I need one? I wanted one. That's why I bought it. And I had people recommending me different ones. I decided to go with the X1 Carbon, and it's been very easy to use. For somebody that's never used one, I was able to set it up in about 30 minutes. I even made a video on the setup process for the new channel, and I was like, it's pretty easy. And I printed my first project easy, and then started building other stuff. Had a couple of hiccups that I think is probably my fault, but so far so good.
79 Woodworks. My biggest one right now is 4.5 millimeter, and then I have one that's 3.5 millimeter, and then the rest are smaller. And then somebody asked if I was Paul. So because of all of the problems I'm having and as many kidney stones as I have, I've got 3 specialists I'm having to work with, plus my primary care physician, which is a lot, which scares me, but I have a GI specialist, a urologist, and a liver specialist, and then my regular doctor that all have to work kind of in unison together, and they're all in different locations, and getting those 4, what's the word? One of my doctors my GI doctor's getting frustrated because one of the other doctors is not responding fast enough, but yes, they're looking at probably having to do surgery. They just have to make sure that everything's going to be safe to do it. So that's kind of a summed up, I guess.
Mike Adams says, I know it's hard for you emotionally to leave law enforcement, but on the business side of it, how long did it take you to even feel close to confidentially...
Thank you, John Carter.
Confident to stepping off one train onto the other? Honestly, we saved up some money so that when we did make the leap, it wasn't going to be like we had a little cushion, right? And so if something bad happened, I could go find another job within a certain amount of time. But even with that, like it took, even after I quit the state police, it was still very concerning for the first few months. I was like, I was watching every dollar. When the YouTube ad money would post or whatever, I'd be making sure everything was tracking right. Just whatever other avenues of income we had, it was nerve wracking. But it all worked out.
It's always the quiet ones. Said
I like
she
that
was.
name.
Yeah, I do too. Because you are one of those. Said I was born with a heart condition. It's her normal. His or her normal. His. I think. I can't tell. The profile picture is so tiny I can't see anything but eyes. I've never known any different going after my everything I want it to do, which is great. And there are days that I feel wiped out, but I praise God. That's awesome.
Caleb says, what's this new channel you're talking about?
Her.
It's coming soon. I'll announce it whenever I have some videos up there. I don't want to send a bunch of traffic there and there's no videos. Right now there's no videos. I've got 2 being edited and 2 more filmed, or one more film. So I want to get 4 or 5 videos ready, and then I'll start releasing them about every 48 hours on the new one. And then once those 4 or 5 first videos are out, then I'll probably go to 1 a week.
David, I don't think so. I don't think our hospital does that. Our hospital is not working with my specialist at all. They don't do anything like it's Arkansas, y'all.
Yeah. Willow Tree Woodwork says, frustration is an opportunity to refocus. I changed the content
Oh,
on
I
my
like
channel
that.
because I got frustrated, and my new videos have received more views than my others have posted.
That's
right.
awesome.
Sometimes you have to adapt and overcome, right? And that's kind of the way it is with no matter if you're doing YouTube or woodworking or what. Super chat.
Thank you, Damon Barber says, I think we all look to the
Thank you,
large
brother.
shop as the goal, but the small shops are where the memories are made.
That's
Oh,
right.
I love that.
I love that too.
I love
That's
that
a
about
shirt, Damon. You just come up with a shirt. Small
Yeah.
shops are where memories are made.
That would be awesome, Damon. That's the way I look at our house. Our house is small, but it's where all our memories have been made. It's like, because we're all so close together in it, you know, small houses. Yeah.
Facebook user says, I don't know what your username is. It just comes as Facebook user on my side. Says the 3D printer has me intrigued, probably because I have no idea how it works. It's pretty cool. It basically takes weed eater string, is what it looks like, and melts it and forms it into whatever you've designed or file you've got. So there's websites called Thingiverse, Printables, and several others, plus Etsy you can buy. But the other two mentioned are free. And I've downloaded some free files and already made things. So basically, you just download them and drag it into the Bamboo, is the name of the company I bought it from, Bamboo Slicer. Drag it over there. And then when you drop it, it clicks slice and it'll basically divide it all up in its own little thing and then hit send to print. And it just does it. It's pretty easy.
Facebook user is Lloyd.
Hey, Lloyd. Not sure why it's coming across that way.
Cornerstone says, I'm frustrated when I'm not in the shop. Sometimes I'm frustrated when I am in the shop. I think I'm frustrated everywhere I am.
I've been there. It happens
That's
to all
funny.
of us. I think we all just get caught up so much in the here and now. And woe is me.
Well, we live
And
in
then-
such a time of, you know, immediate gratification. And so we get frustrated when we don't get our goal or our results as soon as we are ready for them.
Well, we just kind of get in that mindset, woe is me, woe is me. And then when you really take a step back and look, like most of us, the majority of us are more than blessed with what we have and people in our lives. And then there are times when you'll be tried and you'll feel like, you know what, this is more than I can handle. Like you will feel that way at some point in your life. And just keep on keeping on. It's going to get better.
Jeff Seller says, I do not have room for a shop at my house, but I have a shop at my mom's that is 1 hour away. Oh my gosh, that's a long way.
Yeah, it is.
I can only go on weekends, but the good side of that is when I go, my mom is out there with me building
That's
things.
cool.
That's awesome.
It's time you'll never regret right there,
Those
man.
are those memories. A9 Ball's back.
Hey, nah.
Says, my concern about 3D printing is the humidity here.
Yeah.
I live a half a mile from the ocean.
Lucky.
Oh, lucky sucker. And I've heard that the plastic spools don't like humid areas.
So I have a dehumidifier in my shop. I got it on Amazon, and it keeps the humidity in my garage, which has a garage door,
Thank
which
you,
has
Eric.
a gap at the top and a little gap at the bottom. And I'm in South Arkansas where the humidity is typically 80 to 100% most of the time. But it keeps the humidity in there about, I got it set on 40 or 35%, and it keeps it right at that level. And I connect a garden hose, and it runs out the bottom of the door of the garage. It kicks on and off when it needs to. And that has helped tremendously for rust. Like none of my tools rust anymore. Before I had that, I would have to really keep them updated or maintenance on them, or they would rust. Table saws, jointers, bandsaw, top, all that stuff. Like none of that rusts anymore. And I'm terrible with maintenance. I rarely put anything on that. And that's one thing. That's one of the main reasons I got it. And because it's so hot here in South Arkansas, that dehumidifier keeps that humidity low. So even when it is really, really hot, before I got the mini split, especially, it didn't feel as hot in there.
Joe
was a dry
Ferrone
heat.
says, don't throw away those silicone gel packs, the ones that say do not eat. Keep your filament in plastic bags with those packets.
Cool.
So that might be something you could look at, Nine Ball.
The one I got, had the Bamboo Labs X1C, has a filament spool that it'll pull from different colors. Inside that thing, it's got a lid that closes. Inside it, it has those things, a little space to put those packets. And then all the other ones are basically shrink wrapped or vacuum sealed. That's it.
Thank you, great grandpa.
Super chat. Thank you, Grandpa.
I saw somebody said, here it is. Paul said, I find when I get frustrated, if I walk away, I can think about the situation after taking a minute to calm down, and then I can adjust and overcome that evil with good. And he's not the only one that said that. Limited Shed said, love that name. Sometimes I just have to walk away from a project, then the idea just pops in my head. You know, sometimes walking away is what we have to do. We have to walk away from a project or a situation and give ourselves a minute. There's sometimes I have to walk away from my computer because I'll tell you something I walk away from more than anything when I'm recording.
Yeah, I do that too.
I
Especially
walk away
after the
from
third,
that camera.
fourth, fifth take.
Yes, I walk away from the camera and I have to take a minute and just not see the camera, walk away from it, and then go back because I get really frustrated trying to record.
What's real frustrating is a week later, 2 weeks later after you've recorded the video, your editor texts you and says, hey man, 3 of your clips or all of your clips have no audio. You forgot to turn your mic on. I'm like, oh no.
Tiny Sean, thank you so much.
Damon says, how often do you open your garage door? I'm wondering because we have to keep our trash cans in the garage. And I'll take them out 2 times a week. If I try not to ever open it, ever. I have to open it.
Mad if
I have to open it if
it.
you know I have to bring in lumber and stuff like that. But we don't have to bring our garage or our trash can inside, so it's only then when I'm having to bring stuff in and out.
Me or you?
That was me over there somewhere. Oh. So that's one of the good things about it.
I think that was me.
No, okay.
Brad McNamara says, walking away is a superpower that I do not have.
Well,
that was funny.
If we're being honest here, we're among friends, right? I get frustratedly angry sometimes. Now, I'm not as bad as my grandpa was. He liked
we
to
call
throw.
him the Elman Fitz.
Yeah, his name was Elman, and one of the greatest men I ever knew. But he had a temper about this long, and I think I inherited that sometimes. Mine's not as bad,
really.
But there have been times, like we were trying to get a refrigerator in one time. Remember that? And I got so mad. There was a dolly. I just threw that sucker as far as I could across the yard. And it made me feel better. Thank you, Rooster. But it made me feel better. Sometimes you just got to throw something or kick something or hit something with a hammer. You know, it just makes you feel better. For
the
guys,
good news is he never takes it out on us, though.
No, it's just whatever they think.
I have seen him angry probably less than 5 times in our 24 years together. So
413 Bill says, how do you get past people putting your projects down? Kind of frustrated at the moment. Well, I can relate a little bit to that, 413, because, you know, if you put yourself out there, somebody somewhere is going to disagree with you or really just basically attack you in some way.
They look for opportunities to do that.
For a way to be mean about something. And same thing with putting videos online or whatever. It doesn't matter if you're posting your projects or you're showing friends and family your projects, then people will do that to you. And I personally think it's just a way for Satan to crush your dreams, right? Or to try to get you off of your mission. And so I kind of look at it that way and say, you know what? I got a couple today, you know, they'll message me. I've gotten emails, I've gotten private messages, and I've gotten public comments of all kinds of nastiness. And something I would, you know, for a fact, not a single one of them would walk up to you and tell you to your face, right? But they get on the keyboard and they're brave and they want to say things. And I'm like, it used to really bother me. Like I used to get a little angry about it. You know, I want to give them the knife hand and say, you know what? But the more I think about it and the longer I'm alive and the more it happens, I'm like, there's something wrong in that person's life that makes them feel the need to basically bash or trash somebody else, right? And so that's kind of the way I look at things. Now, do I take open criticism or good, or what do you call it? Constructive criticism? Absolutely. I love getting constructive criticism. Hey, in your video, you did this, this, or this.
There's a difference between that and being ugly.
You know, I appreciate your content, but if you did this or this or this, it could be different. Like, I like that because that's feedback I can take and use and adapt, right? But if it's just somebody being mean because they want to be mean, then it doesn't amount to a hill of beans.
An example I like to use on that, I had a video showing tips on keeping your kitchen clean.
not anything else. It was just like 8 things that can make your kitchen look messy, and they were super simple, less than 1 minute. It was a real. I had a woman reach out to me and tell me that I was a bad mother because I kept a clean kitchen.
Yeah. You're not spending time with your kids.
And I said, my kids are grown. Growing up, my kids were allowed to make messes always, but they also lived in a clean home, but yet they were still allowed to be kids. And she was like, you're just missing out on your kids growing up. And I'm like, again, my kids are grown. They're all over 21. But I was a bad mom because I kept a clean house. So it's like they need to figure out something. Now, and what was probably wrong is she probably got triggered because her kitchen wasn't clean or something, and it set something off in her, or she just was a mean person. I mean, you can just be a mean person. There's mean people out there.
And Biscuit Tree has a good point. He says negative comments are almost a badge of honor, but sometimes I found it's a misunderstanding and they don't mean to be negative. And that's true because it's hard to understand the connotation that they're typing it in, right? And so I have had that before too, where somebody says something and I'll reply back thinking it was negative, and then they reply and you're like, oh, they weren't talking negative. They were just,
Paul said, yeah, and I didn't like what some of those people said on your short. I had to turn comments off on the kitchen one on Facebook because I had so many people reach out and were so positive about it and they loved it. Cleaning companies were sharing it. Hey.
What's up?
You know what time it is?
Power tip time.
Power tip time.
Mm-hmm. You got a power tip? You sent the email.
I got the email right here. I can give you a power.
What's it? Is it this one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So you giving it?
Yeah, I'll let you do it.
Okay. So I'm going to read the last sentence to you because I felt like that really did sum it up. It says, taking a moment to breathe, stopping to consider your actual goal and looking for the bright side and making a positive change may seem simple. They also may seem kind of hard sometimes. But here's the thing. When you're already frustrated, you don't need to add stress to an already frustrated situation. That's when you have to stop and remember that you're running what?
A marathon.
Not a sprint.
Yep.
You have to remember that it's baby steps sometimes. Baby steps sometimes suck. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. They suck. They're like, I made it this far and I need it to make it this far. I'm making $0 doing my stuff. 0. It's the first time since I was 15 years old that I don't have a paycheck. That's hard for me. I've spent 30 years of my life getting a paycheck with my name on it, and I get $0. And I get hateful comments sometimes. But I have to remember there's baby steps, and I'm hoping to get there. I just got monetized on Facebook.
Whoop, whoop.
I haven't made anything yet, but I did get monetized on Facebook. So you have to remember that those baby steps will get you somewhere.
Damon says, wait, I didn't know running was involved.
Yeah, I don't run. If you ever see me running, you better run too because something's after me.
All right, so that was the business end. Now we're in the party end, right? This is the mullet show. We always do the business in the front, party in the back. All right, so we have a Facebook community. If you don't know, it's facebook.com/group/731woodworks, where we, you can go over there, join that community. You'll have to answer 2 questions, be nice, and what's your favorite tool. If you do that, you'll be in the club. And basically, it's just we try to keep it positive. We don't want no negativity over there either. And so if you get negative, you get kicked out. It's just simple as that. All right, so this is, we pick a sawdust spotlight from there every week, and this is this week's sawdust spotlight because fall, y'all, it's coming up. Dwight Cabanata, he come up with his own spin on these lanterns that are extremely popular during this time of year, especially in October.
Video froze. I hope that's just...
No, we're back.
Okay.
On this anyway.
Okay.
So he's got some Harry Potter ones. He's got some Star Wars ones. Freddy Krueger there. Pokemon, like all different kinds. I like the way he's thinking about these things because that gives you a little bit other than just a jack-o'-lantern face, right? Those are pretty, like a lot of people do those, and this gives him another avenue to do things. Now, as far as trademarks, all that, you work all that out. All right. So, mail call.
Mail call.
We had this sent in. Now, there was 2 things sitting here, so I don't know if these 2 are the same. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Was this one sent it then?
I didn't open that. You did.
I think.
I gave
I'm
you the
almost
packages
certain.
this
Jiggy
time.
Fly Woodworking. How'd your face? Sent us this cool little badge. It's 2 Before Nation. It's similar to that sticker right there. If you're a member of the 2 Before Nation, you get a sticker. It's our Patreon supporters and channel members. There's a link in the description below. Tells you all about that. If you want to check out the 2 Before Nation, get some behind the scenes footage. We do a live stream for 2 Before Nation members before this one. They get early access to all of the videos and such. And speaking of, one of our channel members made this. You see the light reflection. This 2 Before Nation epoxy walnut board has the green in there. Just a really cool board. His name is STL Woodworking.
It's so gorgeous, STL. You did such a good job.
And he made a video on it on his YouTube channel. You can go check him out. I just popped him up there. And I put the link in the description below on this. Thank you, STL. If you've seen any of the recent videos, it's in the background. You can see it up there. And so that's pretty dang cool, man.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Carlos Cardona says, whoa, I didn't know you did live videos. Man, we do them every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central, right
Unless
here.
we're traveling.
Unless we're traveling. We will be traveling in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're trying. Let's see. Those lanterns are exactly why you want a laser, Matt. Oh.
Yeah, laser to do that pretty quick. I have zero room for the laser. I didn't. So I got
He says he has zero room for a lathe, but he's going to find room.
I got the 3D printer, and I was like, when I bought it, I was like, man, I have nowhere for that thing, but I want it so bad. I wanted it more than the laser, and because I don't have to vent that thing, the laser I'd have to vent out the side of the wall or something. I'd have to figure out that. But for the 3D printer, I was like, I think it'll fit in my tool hutch behind me on most of the videos. And I was like, I think it'll fit. And so when it come in, it stayed on the workbench for the first several days. I was making stuff. Then I moved it yesterday into the hutch and worked out. Works good back there. I like it.
Limited Shed says that they did a video on their ancestry DNA, had to turn the comments off, felt like I was being made fun of.
Oh, wow.
So the reason I turned comments off on the kitchen one was because I had these 2 women who I don't think knew each other. I looked at their pages, and their pages were literally post after post, like 4, 5, 6 posts per day, something negative about somebody in a store. Like the one lady she would post something like, just went to and she would name the store, and saw this woman in there. She was picking this up off the counter, and then she would just cuss and cuss and cuss and cuss out a stranger, like, and post it. And so she started attacking that video and saying that because I said I like to clean my kitchen, I was putting down everybody who didn't do the exact same things I did, which was insane because my kitchen is not cleaned by somebody else's standard. And she just wouldn't stop. She just kept going and going. I blocked her, and there was another lady that was doing it with her, and they were just like blasting cuss words. And one lady on her post, she was like, I'm a Christian and I spread love and all this. And I responded back and I said, I don't think you're spreading love right now. I think you're spreading hate. And then they started blasting that I was hating the world because I cleaned my kitchen. And I was
crazy.
like,
people crazy.
It was
people
nuts.
crazy, y'all. If you don't know that, people crazy.
And that video actually went viral. And so because it was going viral, I didn't want those 2 or other people, I blocked them, but I didn't want other people as nuts as them to mess up my video, so I just stopped comments on it so that people could actually watch it. I don't live in a mansion by any means. My kitchen is not a fancy kitchen by by many people's standard. It's an average person's kitchen, and I'm OCD and I like to clean.
Justin, I got a filament printer. Mike Sheffield says, what is the finish?
Karen's. It was Karen's. You're right,
Mike
Damon.
Sheffield says, what is the final finish coat that you put on your cutting boards? Well, I dip them in mineral oil, and then, y'all gonna love you. And then I put the Outlaws board butter on there. And then we make it right here. She makes it, actually.
I do.
And she makes this Outlaws board butter. You can buy it on our store, 731woodworks.com/store, in either small 2-ounce cans in 6 or 12 packs, or you can buy it in bigger cans, the 4-ounce cans. And so get yours today.
Scruffy says, Miss Amy, I'm not sure they are ladies. You're right, Scruffy. I don't think they are either. cleanliness is next to godliness.
Mannerliness. Oh.
That's what Paul said.
If you like tool deals as much as I do, you got to text my deal alerts. Text deals to the number 731-207-7151. I won't spam you. I only send out the best of the best. And there's some really good ones that posted today on the website. If you haven't, you can also just check the website every day if you don't want to get a text. Just go to 731works.com and click on the tool deals at the top, and you'll be able to see everything I post. I post them throughout the day, but typically early in the mornings, about 6, 7 a.m. Central Time. Usually post several there that I find. And I've been finding the last 2 days, I have found some bang-up deals. They've been good.
Nonval, I agree with you so much. I live by the do unto others saying. My parents told me growing up that if you can't say something nice, then don't say anything. That's the way I am if I'm watching somebody's stuff on any type of platform, social media platform. If it's something that I don't like, I scroll. I would never say anything. But honestly, these people, I don't think it had anything to do with me actually cleaning or, me as a person. I think that they just saw it and they were like, she keeps a clean kitchen. Let's, bash her for it. I mean, I think that because honestly, their pages were so filled with bashing people. And when I say bashing people, I mean one of them bashed an elderly lady who was in, I think, Walmart because she was moving slow. So, I mean, who does that? What kind of person does that? They bash somebody for something like that. So,
Elmer, look for Tray Wax. It's a pretty good substitute called TREWAX. What's a good substitute for Johnson's Wax? There's another one too. Where'd it go? Question: What say you, chat? Let Jesus know. Most useful next purchase: a drill press, planer, or bandsaw. Me personally, I think it's either going to be a planer or a bandsaw, but it also depends on what you're building, right?
I need to do a messy kitchen.
If you need to resaw lumber, I still think you're going to need to plane it. I would go with planer first, personally. That's just me. Scott Wiseman said, I've noticed deal alerts on YouTube in the last couple of days, but haven't gotten a text. Are they the same? Or are they not the same? So I will only text deal alerts that are really, really, really good, because I have so many people on the text alerts. It costs me personally, the business, $30 every time I send out for now. As it grows, it costs me more, but it costs me $30 every time I send out a text. And so I have to be really selective on what tool deals I send out so that it doesn't break me, but it also gives you value. So that's I have to kind of balance that. I post all the tool deals on the website. So if you're looking for all the tool deals, just go to the website, do it daily. You check that out, bookmark it. But if the best of the best, I will text you. So if, say, the DeWalt planer is typically $700, if it's on for $500, you're going to get a text. Like if it's a really good deal, you're going to get the text. Like the Menards jointer deal. And so it would be nice if I had affiliates with everybody, but I don't have any affiliates with Menards. So when I sent that $30 text out, I didn't get anything out of that. So people went and bought it, and they just got a good deal. But sometimes that's okay. I don't mind doing that so long as you're getting a good deal and I can provide you value, but also have to kind of balance that. What's your opinion on woodworking guilds? I don't like the name. I think it's weird. The guild name has always just kind of been odd to me. But I think they're really great for people because you get in a group of people, like-minded people, especially when you get some that have really good, talented people in it, can really help you build your skills. I just think the name's weird. But
So Cobra Pup says, I wish that negative comment people would take this one piece of advice from Barney Fife. So I know who Barney Fife is. He says, take a lock. I had to look that up, Cobra Pup, because I didn't know what that meant. Do you know what it means? Keep quiet.
I didn't know that.
Just keep quiet. I like that. You should have known what that means because you love that show.
Yeah, I did. That was a good show.
You should have known what that means. Oh, my thing.
Carlos, I haven't thought about that, but that is a good idea.
Somebody in my chat jumped on me, but somebody asked what you have planned next to build.
So we've got an epic coffee bar /
soda bar.
Soda bar. Yeah.
Whatever you want. It'll have a
You do
cooler.
you, man.
You do you, boo.
So we bought a mini fridge that's going to go in it, right? It's going to have extra shelving on one side, the mini fridge on one side, top. She wants like a hutch thing. Are you still doing the hutch thing?
I don't know yet.
She ain't decided.
And
So
it's not a hutch. I don't know why you keep calling it a hutch.
if it sets on top of something, it's a hutch.
Okay, so a 3-tiered shelf, the top shelf is a
Top
hutch?
shelf's a hutch.
That
That's the way it works.
makes no sense. You're frustrating me. Willow Tree.
You need to take a step back.
You need to take a step back. Willow Tree says, Amy, are you frustrated that Matt got a new printer, but you still don't have a lathe?
She told y'all a while ago, well, it's not my
yes,
fault.
I am.
Quit trying to stir the pot.
No, it really isn't his fault. He did look up and contact somebody for me to go take a pin turning class. And then we got all my medical news. And now everything is on hold.
Yeah.
It's like nobody wants me to have a lathe. I think all these doctors are in cahoots with him. Did y'all lie about these?
Tom
Y'all
Sanders
making me have
says,
stones.
Tom Sanders said, ask a question. It's been a long time since you had a guest on. Will you be having any again? Yes. Next Tuesday night. So Sunday. So, you know, ever since I got into it, let me give you a little story before I get into the answer. Ever since I got into woodworking in 2017, you would see a SawStop video, you would read the comments, and somebody with apparent knowledge of the fact would say, SawStop patent's expiring soon. There'll be other saws to make SawStop stuff. Every year. And then it was like, well, it's expiring next year. It's expiring next year. The last SawStop video I made, there were comments on there the same thing. Well, you know what? I got tired of hearing it. So next Sunday's video is I went and investigated SawStop's patent with a patent attorney. And so I got on a call with him and we videoed the whole thing, and he answers those questions about SawStop patents and why they are the way they are. It's a very interesting video. I have no idea if it's going to do well as far as performance goes, but you got to check it out. The dude is a genius. Like, he's just a patent genius. So after that video, Sunday, I said, would you be willing to come on the following Tuesday and answer any questions live for anything that may come up through the video? And he said yes. So Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central, we'll have a patent attorney, Michael Steele, will be our guest next week.
All right. Well, with that,
Yep.
I think we're ready to
Sign off.
let these people take a moment,
Take a step back.
take a step back.
All right. We're always open to suggestions for content or live show, what do you call it? Topics. So if you ever want to send us a email on that with a topic, you can just email Matt at 731works.com and I'll get that email and we'll take your suggestions.
Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see y'all next week.
See y'all.